wanted to mention too. There's a couple other things that we saw at the practice. James, you noticed it too. That video board that they're using. So they'll use it primarily for those one-on-one battles between wide receivers and DBs, and they have like an 8K, not a 4K, but we're talking 8K camera video board that they can roll around practices, and the person up in the tower and Bobby's tower up there is shooting down video, and they're doing replays about 5 seconds after every play. So if you're a DB, you getting burnt or you got your ankles took and broke, then you get to also watch it 5 seconds afterwards and then have the coaches say, this is why you got your blank broke right here, or this is what you need to do a little bit better. But I think that's a really cool thing that probably Alfred has been able to bring in some money and help out the coaching staff. They're trying to stay ahead tech-wise. And, I mean, I'm like looking left and right too, James, and I swear, I mean, all of the support staff is starting to grow. I mean, these practices last fall are a whole lot different. I don't know if it's probably too because of all the newcomers too, but there's a lot more people at these practices. And I know there was recruits in town and such, but we've got former guys like James in the house, and just a handful of other people that'll come swing by, a lot of boosters and such. But the support staff, you're seeing general manager, guy Yang,
Bruce Warwick.
Yeah.
Warwick.
Yep. And then a ton of more that I'm trying to like get all their names rattling in my head, but just a lot of support staff also at these practices too. And it's pretty impressive on what Norvell's wanted to do. And he talked about in the introductory press conference last Friday at the luncheon and saying that, it goes to show we've got to keep up. We've got to stay ahead, and building those off the field staff members is huge. I know my guy, Corey Fuller too, is over there on the support staff too, off field, helping out in recruiting ops. I think Maddie, I believe, was just announced publicly yesterday too. Obviously has some ties and being able to help the recruiting side. And I might have said her name wrong, and I'll be completely pissed off. But I think it's Maddie. Might be wrong on that. I'll look for it. But yeah, just a lot more people at these practices, and it's a whole event now, man. It's pretty wild.
Let me tell you this too. They do a really good job of, and like I said, I noticed it because I had an unofficial class of 2033 commit. James Coleman III was out there, but what the coaches do is they do a good job of identifying people who are either don't look like they belong or aren't normally there, and they'll take the time to talk. My son, you can't tell him nothing. Every coach talked to him. Every coach dapped him up. They all, they talk very highly of him. A lot of the support staff as well. Charity is somebody who I don't think gets enough credit for what she's able to do. As far as, she had a couple of recruits that she was hosting as well. It's Charity Grady. I want to make sure I say her name correctly, give her those props. But the amount of guys that came back, but it's not even necessarily, not the guys, it's who came back. Like, I haven't seen Everett Brown in years. And he was a young guy when I was there. Played for the Carolina Panthers. He was able to go chop it up with a few of the defensive ends, which I think is awesome and necessary. But, and Logan, you could do the research on this, but what we have at Florida State is a bunch of guys who are really, really smart ball players. Everybody knows who Myron Rolle is. David Castillo, he's a doctor as well. But the guy who runs the biggest hospital in Tallahassee is a former Florida State football player. I've only heard of him. I'd never met him before. I didn't meet him until Saturday. And that just shows you what Mike Hoffer's doing. He's going out here finding these names of these guys who have been successful, obviously in football, but outside of football, and he's making sure those guys are known. Like, their presence is welcome. I mean, from a money perspective, that's a big thing. But from a perspective of recruiting, hell, you could be a smart ball player coming to Florida State. Last time I checked, we one of the few schools with two Rhodes Scholars in athletics. So, I mean, that's just stuff that I noticed. And it was really, really, again, real good energy. Very, I brought my son's grandfather was out there. he's a Panamanian man that barely speaks English. They made him feel like he was welcome as well. So I think those are the little things. And Coach Norvell has this saying. I'm sure everybody says it, but I heard it from him. I'm gonna give him props for it. Not only did he come up with the standard over everything that I make money from, but he says how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you can make everybody there feel welcome, that means recruiting, once we get the wins, will enhance exponentially because that's all that is. It's just recruit. Raising money, recruit. Getting the top athletes, recruit. Wins and losses help either enhance or detract that. But if you got a good foundation and everybody's on board doing that, you can see the success.